Hi, neighbor. This is T. Thomas saying welcome once again to our Grand Ole Opry show. We'd like for you folks to meet our first guest on this program. He is known as the Oklahoma Cowboy, and he's going to sing Filipino Baby. Here's Cowboy Copus.
When the warship left Manila, sailing proudly o'er the sea, deep blue sea, all the sailors' hearts were filled with fond regret, looking backward to this island where they spent those happy hours, making love to every pretty girl they met. When up stepped a little sailor with his bright eyes all aglow, saying, take a look at my gal's photograph. Then the sailors gathered round him just to look upon her face, smiling face. And he said, I love my dark-faced Filipino. She's my Filipino baby, she's my treasure and my pet, loving pet. Her teeth are bright and pearly and her hair is black as jet. Oh, her lips are sweet as honey and her heart is pure, I know, yes I know. And he said, I love my dark-faced Filipino. Tell me, boy. Whispered, darling, I've come back from Caroline, South Carolina. I've come back to claim the only girl I love. And that night there was a wedding while the ships together drowned all around. And he wed his little Filipino baby. She's my Filipino baby, she's my treasure and my pet, loving pet. You bet. Her teeth are bright and pearly, and her hair is black as jet. Oh, her lips are sweet as honey, and her heart is pure, I know, yes I know, pure as snow. And he said, I love my dark-faced Filipino.
Nice one, Copus. Thank you so much. Filipino Baby. We'll go from the sublime to the ridiculous to switch things around a little bit. I shouldn't have said that.
Hello there, ugly.
Wait a minute now. Turnabout's fair play. Billy, how about the great one that you're famous for?
All righty. You can stand it, I can stand it, dish it out. Here you go. I've laid around and played around this old town too long. Summer's almost gone, yes, winter's coming on. I've laid around and played around this old town too long, and I feel like I've been traveled on. Papa rides to Johnny, but Johnny can't come home. Johnny can't come home, no, Johnny can't come home. Papa rides to Johnny, but Johnny can't come home, 'cause he's been on chain gang too long. High sheriff and police riding after me, yes, coming after me. High sheriff and police riding after me, and I feel like gotta travel on. I've laid around and played around this old town too long. Summer's almost gone, yes, winter's coming on. I've laid around and played around this old town too long, and I feel like I've got to travel on. One more road, boys. Wanna see my honey, wanna see her bad, wanna see her bad, oh, wanna see her bad. I wanna see my honey, wanna see her bad. She's the best gal this poor boy ever had. I've laid around and played around this old town too long. Summer's almost gone.
Now, look, fellas, once and for all, I want it understood that I am the T-Tommy of ceremonies around here. Now, I want that.
Well, I don't see
well,
why
why are you taking an attitude like that?
Well, there seems to be some disagreement back here as to who's going to introduce this next song, so I just think I'll do it myself. It's one of my old records, a thing called Auctioneer. Now, you guys, I've already introduced it, so just forget it. Hey, well, all right, sir, here we go there, and what are you going to give for? I'm a 25 to give 30 now, 5 a bit of another $40 on the make it a 40 now, 5 a bit of 5. There was a boy in Arkansas who wouldn't listen to his ma when she told him he should go to school. He'd sneak away in the afternoon, take a little walk, then pretty soon you'd find him at the local auction barn. He'd stand and listen carefully, then pretty soon he began to see how the auctioneer could talk so rapidly. He said, oh my, it's do or die, I've got to learn that auction cry, gotta make my mark and be an auctioneer. $25 bidder now, $30, 30, will you give me 30, make it 30, bid it about my $30, will you give me 30, hoorah, bid a $30 bid. $30 bidder now, 35, will you give me 35 to make it 35, bid it a 35, who would have bidder at a $35 bid. As time went on, he did his best, and all could see he didn't jest. He practiced calling bids both night and day. His pap would find him behind the barn just working up an awful storm as he tried to imitate the auctioneer. Then his pap said, son, we just can't stand to have the mediocre man selling things at auction using our good name. I'll send you off to auction school, then you'll be nobody's fool. You can take your place among the best. $35 bid and I'll $40, 40, will you give me 40, make it 40, bid it on a $40, will you give me 40, hoorah, bid it a $40 bid. $40 bid and now 45, will you give me 45 to make it a 45, bid it a 45, who would have bid it at a $45 bid. So from that boy who went to school, there grew a man who played it cool. He came back home a full-fledged auctioneer. Then the people came from miles around just to hear him make that rhythmic sound that filled their hearts with such a happy cheer. His fame spread out from shore to shore. He had all he could do and more. Had to buy a plane to get around. Now he's the tops in all the land. Let's pause and give that man a hand. He's the best of all the auctioneers. $45 bid and now the $50, 50, will they give me 50, make it 50, bid it on a $50, will they give me 50, hoorah, bid it a $50 bill. $50 bidder now, 55, will they give me 55 to make it a 55, bid it a 55, I sold that OSBORNE a $50 bill. Hey, well, all right, sir, open the gate and let them out and walk 'em, boys. Here we come a lot of number 29 in, what are you going to give for 'em? I'm a 25 to give 30 now, 5, would it bid it a 5, another $40 on the make it a 40 now, 5, would it bid it a 5, another $50 on the make it a 50 now, 5. Thank you very much.
That was a good one. That was a good one. You know, folks, it isn't often that we get a visit from an honest-to-goodness cowboy here at the Grand Ole Opry, and especially one that's had a big, real record going for him. And that's why it's a double pleasure now to welcome Mr. Rex Allen and to hear him sing his big hit record, Sun Don't Go Near the Indians. Here's Rex.
Son, don't go near the Indians, please stay away. Son, don't go near the Indians, please do what I say. When I was just a little boy, I liked to roam the hills, and to hear wild stories about the Indians was my biggest thrill. I'd shout and run and holler like them. I wore moccasins on my feet, and I'd make believe I was under a teepee every time I went to sleep. Son, don't go near the Indians, please stay away. Son, don't go near the Indians, please do what I say. My hair was jet black and I was 21. There was lots of pretty girls around, but the pale-faced maidens didn't thrill me none around my Cochise County hometown. One day when I was walking by a shady creek, I saw a beautiful Indian fetching water, and I just had to speak. She smiled at me, then quickly ran, but the next day she returned. And it wasn't very long till I told this maiden how the love in my heart burned. Son, don't go near the Indians, please stay away. Son, don't go near the Indians, please do what I say. I told my daddy I'd found a girl who meant the world to me, and tomorrow morning I'd ask the chief for the hand of Noble Lee. Dad's trembling lips spoke softly as he told me of my life. 'Twas then he said I could never take this maiden for my wife. Son, when you were born, the white man and Indian were fighting, and a brave named Yellow Sun scalped my little boy. So I took you to make up for what he'd done. And son, you're a full-blooded Indian, but I love you just as much as my own little feller that's dead. And son, Nova Lee is your sister, and that's why I've always said, son, don't go near the Indians, please stay away. Son, don't go near the Indians, please do what I say. Please do what I say. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Hey, that's a swell job. You know, I never get tired of hearing that song, and thank you so very much for singing it.
Well, I want to thank you for inviting me.
How about your next number, Raymond?
Well, speaking of chip off the old tub, we have borrowed this song and put it in one of our albums from the great Bob Wills, of course. And it's a Texas song about the town where Justin comes from. Here's the San Antonio Road.
Deep within my heart lies a melody, a song of old San Antonio, where I live and dream with a memory beneath the stars all alone. It was there I found beside the Alamo, enchantment strange as the blue up above, a moonlit path that only she would know. Still, here's my broken song of love. Moon in all your splendor knows only my heart. Call back my rose, rose of San Antonio. Lips so sweet and tender, like petals falling apart. Speak once again of my love, my old broken song. Every words I know still live in my heart all alone. Oh, that moonlit path beside the Alamo, and rose, my rose of San Antonio. Knows only my heart. Call back my rose, rose of San Antonio. Lips so sweet and tender, like petals falling apart. Speak once again of my love, my own broken song. Every words I know still live in my heart all alone. While that moonlit path beside the Alamo, and rose, my rose of San Antonio.
Raymond, that's just real great. You know, I like the way that band of yours sounds.
Speaking of fine singers, here's one now, Bob Luman.
In every other song that I've heard lately, some fellow gets shot, and his baby and his best friend both die with him, as likely as not. Well, in half of the other songs, some cats crying are ready to die. We've lost most all of our happy people, and I'm a-wondering why. Let's think about living. Let's think about loving. Let's think about the hooping and the hopping and the bopping and the lovey-dovey. Let's forget about the whine and the crying and the shooting and the dying and the fellow with the switchblade knife. Let's think about living. Let's think about life. Oh, we lost old Marty Robbins down in El Paso a little while back. And now Miss Patty Page, one of them is wearing black. Kathy's clown has John and Bill where they feel like they could die. If we keep on losing our singers like that, I'll be the only one you can buy. Let's think about living. Let's think about loving. Let's think about the hooping and the hopping and the bopping and the lovey-dovey. Let's forget about the whine and the crying and the shooting and the dying and the fellow with the switchblade knife. Let's think about living. Let's think about life. Now let's go. Let's think about living. Let's think about loving. Let's think about the hooping and the hopping and the bopping and the lovey-dovey. Let's forget about the whine and the crying and the shooting and the dying and the fellow with the switchblade knife. Let's think about living. Let's think about life. Let's think about living. Let's think about life. Let's think about living. Let's think about life.
Well, it was a couple of years ago, there was a hit song called Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. And until this young man, Ray Stevens, came along, I guess it had the world record for a length of a title. Well, Ray's written about 40 big songs, and he's topped it now with a number called Jeremiah. What is the name of that song, Ray?
Jeremiah Peabody's polyunsaturated, quick dissolving, fast acting, pleasant tasting green and purple pills.
Well, that's a popular song. And I guess that could be called some of the secret of Ray's success. Anything he writes or renders, serious or comic, is, well, what we call offbeat. His wacky way with the lyric has moved one reviewer to call him, let's see, he called him a combination of Victor Borge, Steve Allen, and Abe Burrows, all rolled into one. We're proud of this boy. And here he is, Ray Stevens.
Let me tell you about Ahab the Arab, the sheik of the burning sand. He had emeralds and rubies just a-dripping off of him and a ring on every finger of his hand. He wore a big old turban wrapped around his head and a scimitar by his side. And every evening, about midnight, he'd jump on his camel named Clyde and ride solidly through the night to the Sultan's tent, where he would secretly meet up with Fatima of the Seven Veils, swinging this grade A #1 U.S. choice dancer in the Sultan's whole harem. Cause him and her had a thing going, you know, and they'd been carrying on for some time now behind the Sultan's back. You could hear him talk to his camel as he rode out across the dunes. His voice would cut through the still night desert air, and he'd say, Soul American, which is Aramaic for stop, Clyde, and Clyde say, which is camel for okay. Well, he brought that camel to a screeching halt in the rear of Fatima's tent. Jumped off Clyde, snuck around the corner, and into the tent he went. There he saw Fatima laying on a zebra skin rug, with rings on her fingers and bells on her toes and a bone in her nose. Ho, ho. There she was, friends. There she was, laying there in all her radiant beauty, eating on a raisin, a grape, apricot, bowl of chitlins, 2 bananas, 3 Hershey bars, ROC, Coca-Cola, moon pie, listening to Grand Ole Opry on the TV, reading a Mad magazine while she sung Does Your Chewing Gum Lose Its Flavor on the bedpost overnight. Hey, I walk up to her and he'd say, which is Aramaic for let's twist again like we did last summer, babies. She look up at it from off the rug, she'll say, get out of here, you idiot. Yeah, around and around and around and around and around and around and that's a story about Ahab, Arab, the sheik of the burning sand. Ahab, Arab, the sheik of the burning sand.
Trail, it was midnight. Carmela was strong on his mind because of the life he had chosen. Carmela had left him behind. Too long he'd been El Bandito. Carmela had left him alone. But today someone brought a message. She had been seen in old San Antone. Cross the Brazos, said Waco, ride hard and I'll make it by dawn. Cross the Brazos, said Waco, I'm safe when I reach San Antone. He glanced back over his shoulder. The posse was nowhere in sight. He'd sent for Carmela to meet him on the banks of the Brazos tonight. She was waiting and he kept the promise he'd made such a long time ago. As he dropped the guns that she hated in the muddy Brazos below. Cross the Brazos, said Waco, ride hard and I'll make it by dawn. Cross the Brazos, said Waco, I'm safe when I reach San Antone. Then the night came alive with gunfire. He knew that at last he'd been found. As the ranger's badge showed brightly, El Bandito lay on the ground. Carmela knew he was dying, that all of her dreams were in vain. As she kissed his lips for the last time, she heard him whisper again. Cross the Brazos, said Waco, ride hard and I'll make it by dawn. Cross the Brazos, said Waco, I'm safe when I reach San Antone. I'm safe when I reach San Antone.
Connie Smith sings, they really pay attention. Connie, that's from an album, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Have you ever been to Baltimore?
I hear they've got a lot of streets in Baltimore.
You know about the streets of Baltimore, huh? Well, here's a song by that name, The Streets of Baltimore, and here is Bobby Bear.
I sold the farm to take my woman where she longed to be. Left our kin and all our friends back there in Tennessee. Bought those one-way tickets she had often begged me for, and they took us to the streets of Baltimore. Oh, her heart was filled with laughter when she saw those city lights, and she said the prettiest place on earth is Baltimore at night. Well, a man feels proud to give his woman what she's longing for, and I kinda like the streets of Baltimore. Got myself a factory job. I ran an old machine. Bought a little cottage in a neighborhood serene. Yet every night when I came home with every muscle sore, she would drag me through the streets of Baltimore. Well, I did my best to bring her back to what she used to be. But I soon learned that she loved those bright lights much more than she loved me. Now I'm a-going back on that same train that brought me here before, while my baby walks the streets of Baltimore. Yes, my baby walks the streets of Baltimore.
Friends, see this young man sitting next to me?
Hello, Big Jim.
He's as much responsible for the Nashville sound as anybody in Music City, USA. If you will, give a nice welcome to the unbelievable guitar and voice of Jerry Reeves. Jerry, take us to something.
Well, I quit my job down at the car wash. I left my mama a goodbye note. By sundown, I'd left Kingston with my guitar up under my coat. I hitchhiked all the way down to Memphis, got a room at the YMCA. For the next 3 weeks, I went haunting them nightclubs looking for a place to play. Well, I thought my picking would set them on fire, but nobody wanted to hire a guitar man. Well, I nearly about starved to death down in Memphis. I run out of money and luck. So I bummed me a ride down to Macon, Georgia on an overloaded poultry truck. I thumbed on down to Panama City, started checking out some of them all-night bars, hoping I could make myself $1 making music on my guitar. Got the same old story, them all-night pills, but there ain't no room around here for a guitar man. We don't need a guitar man, son. So I slept in Hobo Junk, bummed 1,000 miles of track, till I found myself in Mobile, Alabama, at a club they call Big Jack's. A little four-piece band was jamming, so I took my guitar and I sit in. I showed them what a band would sound like with a swinging little guitar man. Show 'em, son. Yeah. Do it, Robert. If you ever take a trip down to the ocean, find yourself down around Mobile, well, make it on out to the club called Jack's if you've got a little time to kill. Just follow that crowd of people, you'll wind up out on his dance floor, digging the finest little five-piece group up and down the Gulf of Mexico. And guess who's leading that five-piece band? Wouldn't you know, watch that swing little guitar man. Yeah, yeah, little guitar man. Here we go, Bobby.
Wish that I was on old Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no smoggy smoke on Rocky Top, ain't no telephone bills. Once I had a girl on Rocky Top, half bear, the other half cat. Wild as a mink, but sweet as soda pop, I still dream about that. Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Rocky Top, Tennessee, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Once two strangers climbed old Rocky Top looking for a moonshine still. Strangers ain't come down from Rocky Top, reckon they never will. Corn won't grow at all on Rocky Top, dirt's too rocky by far. That's why all the folks on Rocky Top get their corn from a jar. Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Simple again. Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee, Rocky Top, Tennessee, Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Here's our brand new record, ladies and gentlemen, one for the unartist people, entitled Looking at the World Through a Windshield. Well, when I was just a little bitty kid, I remember one time Mama said, Daddy sends you all of his love, Frisco Bay. And I didn't understand till I was grown why my daddy didn't spend a little time at home instead of running around the country that away. Oh, I'm looking at the world through a windshield, and I see everything in a little bit different light. I got a sweet little thing I'm a-wanting to see in Nashville, and I'm down around Dowson Road on South tonight. Long strips of rubber that you see were burned off of this rig by the likes of me, and they'll rot along the highways of this land. I want to sign my name in that diesel smoke and let the ones that come along behind me choke and try to beat this pace I'm sitting in time they can. Oh, I'm looking at the world through a windshield, watching it fly by me on the right. I got a sweet little thing I'm a-wanting to see in Nashville, and I'm down around Dowson Road on South tonight. strips of rubber that you see were burned off of this rig by the likes of me. They'll rot along the highways of our land. I'm gonna sign my name in that diesel smoke and let the ones that come along behind me choke and try to beat this pace I'm setting as I began. Oh, I'm looking at the world through a windshield, watching it fly by me on the right. I got a sweet little thing I'm a dying to see in Nashville, and I'm down around Dallas Road on south tonight. Yeah, I'm down around Dallas Road on south tonight.
Right now to sing another one of his great hits, Mr. Mel Street.
Her fingers feel so gentle with her hand in mine. Her hair feels like silk on my arm. Her lips tell me so tenderly she's mine alone. Until we part tonight and she goes home. Borrowed angel belongs to someone else. I love my borrowed angel, I just can't help myself. That ring on her finger don't belong to me, but she loves me, and I know she'll save some borrowed time for me. I wish that I could have her more than just tonight. We can't go on like this, it isn't right. But when that lonesome feeling comes knocking on my door, I'll call my borrowed angel to ease the pain once more. Borrowed angel belongs to someone else. I love my borrowed angel, I just can't help myself. That ring on her finger don't belong to me, but she loves me, and I know she'll save some borrowed time for me. But she loves me, and I know she'll save some borrowed time for me.
Imagine how great it must make you feel to know the first record that you recorded and wrote turns out to be a country standard, and that's couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Well, I appreciate that. It's just fantastic. Good working with you, Stan.
And
That's right.
speaking of roosters, here's Farron Young.
Oh, that's me,
And
the
I'll
cock
do,
of the walk.
I'll do an English imitation of an English rooster and be on my way. A cock-a-doodle-doo.
Oh, pretty good.
I'm the center of attention in this bar.
out for me and draw me in. I'll say no each night that I'll be back to wind me up again. Wind me up, turn me on, and watch me cry for you. Lately drinking warm red wine is all I want to do. And I never know how tight I'll wind me up till I walk in. But I don't care, 'cause I'll be back to wind me up again. Oh, I hear you now. And it's cold. I'd like to thank the folks that raised the grapes way out in California. And I'm hoping this will be their biggest year. 'Cause scarlet water's all that's left to keep me hanging on. And that's why I'll try to wind me up each day and night next year. Wind me up, turn me on, and watch me cry for you. Lately drinking warm red wine is all I want to do. And I never know how tight I'll wind me up till I walk in. And I don't care, 'cause I'll be back to wind me up again. You better believe it, mama.
Thank you very kindly. I want to reintroduce an old friend of mine from, I won't say long ago, but he holds a record that just few people in country music hold. He sold 2 million copies of a little song entitled 6 Days on the Road. That made you happy, didn't it, Dave Dudley?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What's the cutest thing that ever happened to you in the trucks? I'll just give you the microphone and I'll be a good listener.
Well, this is the truth, Charlie. It really did happen to me, and I'll make it very short. That at the time, I was going to release a song not too long ago called Ain't No Easy Run. I was at my house, just hung up to my producer, and I said, that's a good idea, let's do it. And I heard crash, bang, the lights went out, my wife screamed, and I run into the living room, and lo and behold, off an icy highway, right in my front yard, 15 feet from the fence, was a full-rig semi, and they were sitting there with the power lines down, wrecked. And when I looked at that, I thought to myself, that's got to be an omen. Ain't No Easy Run's got to be a good record.
Well, I bet it was, and I know it was.
Well, it wasn't bad. It turned out to be a pretty fair thing, but you remember this one, the truck driving son of a gun? Do you remember that?
Oh, yes, I do.
Can I do it?
That's good.
Got a cute little gal in an eastern town from Boston to St. Louis. There's some that I don't even know, but I'm looking forward to, 'cause I like my women everywhere I go. So roll on big wheels, don't you roll so slow. Yeah, it's a waiting in Memphis. There's a Betty Lou in Maine. Got a good old gal in Nashville. Man, I forgot her name, but not her figure. I remember that. Yeah, I'm a kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing, truck-driving son of a gun. There goes Joe, flying low, making up his time. But from where I sit, I don't believe you'd say I'm wasting mine. I'm moving faster than a Jimmy 8. If you think I'm losing time, you're running late. Got a pretty little baby, she's waiting back home for me. I'll have 6 more towns to go till I'm back in Tennessee, and 6 more women. At least I know
kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing, truck-driving son of a gun. Yeah, I'm a kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing, truck-driving son of a gun.